Dear students, this is lecture number 30 in supply chain management. Let us discuss the questions of the last lecture. The first question is define bullwhip effect. So, what is the bullwhip effect? The fluctuations in orders increase from the downstream to upstream in the supply chain. That is, retailers to wholesalers, wholesalers to manufacturers to suppliers. This is called a bullwhip effect. The second question is the lack of coordination dash manufacturing cost in the supply chain. The answer is increases, because due to lack of coordination, the manufacturing cost will increase. Third question, product out of stock leads to dash in supply chain. That is, customer is requesting for the particular product, but that product is not available for sale in stores, then it is called a lost sales. So product out of stock leads to lost sales in supply chain. Now we will discuss the topic obstacles to coordination in a supply chain. We have discussed the importance of coordination in supply chain. Lack of coordination in supply chain leads to increase in various costs like manufacturing cost, transportation cost, warehousing cost, etc. And also it affects the performance of supply chain system. So in this scenario, we should understand what are all the obstacles to achieve coordination in a supply chain, so that the supply chain management system may try to tackle the obstacles or remove the obstacles from the supply chain system. There are various kinds of obstacles occur in a supply chain system. They are incentive obstacles, information processing obstacles, operational obstacles, pricing obstacles, finally behavioral obstacles. Now we will discuss one by one in detail. The first one, incentive obstacles. Incentive obstacles occur in situations when the company or firm offer incentives to different stages or participants in a supply chain system, which may lead to actions that increase variability and also to reduce supply chain profits. Local optimization within functions or stages of a supply chain. That is, the optimization takes place in a particular stage. It may be good for the particular stage locally, but it may affect the total performance of supply chain system in total. Incentives that focus only on the local impact of an action result in decisions that do not maximize total supply chain surplus. That means a firm offers incentives which focus only on the local impact of action, which may result in optimization in that stage, but it won't maximize the total supply chain surplus. For example, if the compensation of a transportation manager in a firm is linked to the average transportation cost per unit, the manager is likely to take actions that lower transportation cost even if they increase inventory cost or hurt customer service. The meaning is, a transportation manager in a firm is given incentives based on the average transportation cost per unit. So what he will do, the transportation manager will take all possible actions to reduce the transportation cost per unit so that he can get better incentives, but without bothering about the total cost or total customer service. So incentives offered in a locally for a particular stage in supply chain system may affect the total supply chain performance. And also, it is natural for any participant in the supply chain to take actions that optimize performance measures in that particular stage along which they are evaluated. That is, in a supply chain system, if you have the system of evaluating a person's performance based on particular parameter, it is natural that he will aim in optimizing that particular parameter without bothering about the how it will affect the total supply chain performance. Next one is sales force incentives. These incentives offered to salesmen. Improperly structured sales force incentives are a significant obstacle to coordination in a supply chain. In many firms, sales force incentives are based on the amount the sales force sells during an evaluation period of a month or quarter. So, sales force incentives should be properly structured in such a way that it will not affect the total supply chain performance. Next one is information processing obstacles. Information processing obstacles occur when demand information is distorted as it moves from different stages of the supply chain, leading to increased variability in orders within the supply chain. Information processing obstacles occur when demand information is distorted. That means it is not represented correctly, or it is changed, or false information goes from one stage to another stage. So, like that, these problems will be the reason for information processing obstacles. Forecasting based on orders, not customer demand. That means we forecast the future requirements or future demand not based on customer demand but based on orders received from the lower stages. When stages within a supply chain make forecasts that are based on the orders they receive, any variability in customer demand is magnified as orders move up the supply chain to manufacturers and suppliers. In supply chains, where the fundamental means of communication among different stages are the orders that are placed. That means basically the communication between different stages takes place only through the orders placed. So information may be distorted as it moves up the supply chain for a quantitative analysis. Each stage views its primary role as filling the orders placed by downstream partner. So each stage views its demand as a stream of orders received and makes a forecast based on this information, which may not be absolutely correct, or it may have the high variability. Lack of information sharing. The lack of information sharing between stages of the supply chain magnifies the information distortion. For example, a retailer such as Walmart may increase the size of the particular order because of a planned promotion. For example, they may want to push particular sales by offering discounts for a particular period, like Amazon Big Sale or Flipkart announces offer period like that. If the manufacturer is not aware of the planned promotion, it may interpret that the larger order as a permanent increase in demand and place orders with the suppliers accordingly. If the manufacturer is not knowing about this planned promotion, the manufacturer assumes that the same level of demand will be there in future also, and he will start manufacturing by placing orders with the suppliers, but this spike or hike in demand exists for only for certain period because of the planned promotion. Next one is operational obstacles. Operational obstacles occur when actions taken in the course of placing and filling orders lead to an increase in variability. Ordering in large lots. When a firm places orders in lot sizes that are much larger than those in which demand arises, variability of orders is magnified up the supply chain. That is, when a firm places order in lot sizes that are much larger, that is usually the order in terms of thousands. Suddenly they order in terms of more than that. For example, 50,000, 75,000, something like that. So what happens? This variability of orders is magnified. That is, it is further increased when it goes up the supply chain, assuming that there may be a very big demand for this product. But firms may order in large lots because a significant cost is associated with the placing, receiving, or transporting an order. That is, firms may go for bigger lot size even to reduce the fixed cost also. The large lots may also occur if the supplier offers quantity discounts based on lot size. Suppose the supplier offers any discount for large lot size orders, then also the people may go for, that is, orders in large lots. Large replenishment lead times. Replenishment lead time means the time taken to deliver the product in particular stores or particular point of sale. That is called a replenishment lead time. Information distortion is magnified if replenishment lead times between stages are long. For example, consider a situation in which a retailer has misinterpreted a random increase in demand as a growth trend. That is, a retailer he misunderstood that suddenly he found a random increase for a particular product, and he assumed that based on this number, that is random increase, there will be a demand growth for the same product, which may not be so, because this random increase might have happened due to various external reasons. So if the retailer faces a lead time of 2 weeks, so it will incorporate anticipated growth over 2 weeks when placing an order. Suppose if to fill the particular stock of the particular product, if it takes 2 weeks time, then retailer will anticipate growth for 2 weeks and place order for larger lot. Like that, in contrast, if the retailer faces lead time of 2 months, then he will predict for 2 months. That means he will assume for the demand growth for 2 months, and he will order for again a bigger size of quantity considering the demand for 2 months. So the same thing applies when a random decrease in demand happens for a particular product, that is interpreted as declining trend. So this happens only because of random increase and random decrease in demand for the particular product, and also replenishment time is also long. Due to these two reasons, the information distortion happens in the supply chain system. Rationing and shortage gaming. Rationing schemes that allocate limited production in proportion to the orders placed by retailers lead to a magnification of information distortion. What do you mean by rationing? Rationing means limiting something. Here we are limiting the production of particular product. So this will occur when a high demand product is in short supply. So in such a situations, manufacturer will come up with variety of mechanisms to ration the scarce supply of product among various distributors or retailers. One of the mechanism is to allocate the available supply of product based on orders placed. So in this rationing scheme method, the supply available is 75% of total orders received. Then each retailer will receive 75% of its order. Next one is pricing obstacles. Pricing obstacles arise when the pricing policies for a product lead to an increase in variability of orders placed. For example, lot size based quantity discounts. Lot size based quantity discounts increase the lot size orders placed within the supply chain because lower prices are offered for larger lots. That is, if a firm announces quantity discounts based on lot size, that is, if you order in terms of this lot size, the discount will be 20%, 25% like that, then there will be lot of orders will come in that larger lots to exploit the discount. That means lower price. This will result in the bullwhip effect within the supply chain. Price fluctuations, trade promotions and other short-term discounts offered by a manufacturer result in forward buying, by which a wholesaler or retailer purchases large lots during the discounting period to cover demand during future periods. That means if a firm announces a promotion for a particular product or heavy discount for a particular product, the wholesaler or retailer will purchase the product in large lots to exploit the discount offered in that particular period and also to cover the future demand for the particular product. So this kind of forward buying results in large orders during the promotion period, but after that you don't find that kind of large orders because the wholesaler or retailer have already purchased the product for the future demand also. So you will get only very small orders. Next one is behavioral obstacles. Behavioral obstacles are problems in learning within organizations that contribute to information distortion. These problems are related to the way the supply chain is structured and how communication takes place between different stages of supply chain system. Some of the behavioral obstacles are: first one is each stage of the supply chain views its action locally and is unable to see the impact of its actions on other stages. That means each stage focuses on its action locally without understanding the actions will also have impact on other stages. The second one, different stages of the supply chain react to the current local situation rather than identifying the root causes. Based on local analysis, different stages of the supply chain blame one another for the fluctuations. Successive stages in the supply chain becoming enemies rather than partners. That means, based on the local analysis, one stage will blame another for the fluctuation in the orders or demand. So, the successive stages in the supply chain will become enemies rather than partners. No stage in the supply chain learns from its actions over time because the consequences of actions in any one stage it occurs in another stage elsewhere. A lack of trust among supply chain partners causes them to be opportunistic at the expense of overall supply chain performance. The lack of trust also results in significant duplication of effort. That is, doing the same job redundantly again and again in different stages of supply chain. More important, information available at different stages, either it is not shared or it is ignored because of lack of trust. Now we discuss managerial levers to achieve coordination. The first one is aligning of goals and incentives. Next one, improving information visibility and accuracy. Third one, improving operational performance. Fourth one, designing pricing strategies to stabilize orders. The last one, building strategic partnership and trust. So these are all the different ways to achieve coordination in supply chain management. Now we will discuss one by one. First one, aligning of goals and incentives. Managers can improve coordination within the supply chain by aligning goals and incentives so that every participant in supply chain works to maximize total supply chain profits. That is, the managers they have to improve coordination in the supply chain system by aligning the goals and the incentives. In order to achieve every participant in the supply chain system should work towards the common objective, that is to maximize the supply chain surplus or profits. Aligning goals across the supply chain. So coordination requires every stage of the supply chain to focus on the supply chain surplus or total size of the pie rather than just its individual share. That means every stage of the supply chain to aim on improving the supply chain surplus of the system, but not on the improving the profit of that particular unit or particular stage in the supply chain. In the absence of such an approach, every supply chain leaves money on the table. The meaning of the phrase leaves money on the table is missing out the opportunity to earn profit. So here, if you don't have coordination, the supply chain system miss the opportunity to earn the profit. Aligning incentives across functions. One key to coordinated decisions within a firm is to ensure that the objective any function uses to evaluate a decision is aligned with the firm's overall objective. That means we want to evaluate each functionality or stage in a supply chain system. To evaluate the particular functionality of the supply chain system, we have to take a decision on which the functionality is measured. When you take such decision, the decision should be aligned with the firm's overall objective. So, all facility like transportation, inventory, warehousing decisions should be evaluated based on their effect on profitability of the total supply chain system. So, not on the total cost or not even just a local cost. Next one is pricing for coordination. That is how pricing strategy can be used for achieving coordination in a supply chain system. A manufacturer can use lot size based quantity discounts to achieve coordination for commodity products. The manufacturer has large fixed cost associated with each lot. For products for which a firm has market power, a manager can use two-part tariffs and volume discounts to achieve coordination. What do you mean by two-part tariff means it will have fixed cost for certain number of units, and also in addition to that it will have variable cost also, depends on the number of units or number of products, or based on the usage of particular service. Given demand uncertainty, manufacturers can use buyback, revenue sharing, and quantity flexibility contracts to spur retailers to provide levels of product availability that maximize total supply chain profits. That means based on the demand, manufacturers can choose the different types of contracts which you have discussed already: buyback, revenue sharing, and quantity flexibility contracts. For example, buyback contracts have been used in the publishing industry to increase total supply chain profits. Particularly, for example, in newspapers, you might observe that they will use a system of buyback concept. That means they will take back the unsold newspapers or magazines. Altering sales force incentives from sell in to sell through. What do you mean by sell in and sell through? Sell in means retailers agree to buy the goods from the manufacturer at a discounted price. Sell through means customers buy the products from the retailer. So, any change that reduces the incentive for a salesperson to push product to the retailer reduces the bullwhip effect. So, we already seen what you mean by bullwhip effect. Managers should link incentives for the sales staff to sell through by the retailer rather than selling to the retailer. So we already seen what you mean by selling and sell through. This action will eliminate any motivation the sales staff may have to encourage forward buying. Forward buying means retailers will add the product stock in bulk to exploit the discounted rate advantage given by the manufacturer. Elimination of forward buying helps reduce fluctuations in the order stream. Next one is improving information visibility and accuracy. Managers can achieve coordination by improving the visibility and accuracy of information available to different stages in the supply chain. Sharing point of sale data, that is, sharing point of sale data across the supply chain can reduce the bullwhip effect. That is, coordination in supply chain system can be achieved by providing the visibility of information, and also the accurate information is available to different stages, that is, all stages in the supply chain system. Implementing collaborative forecasting and planning. Once point of sale data are shared, different stages of supply chain must forecast and plan jointly if complete coordination is to be achieved. As the information is shared between all the stages in the supply chain system, now the various stages in the supply chain can join and collaboratively forecast and plan to achieve better coordination. Without collaborative planning, sharing of point of sale data does not guarantee the coordination. Next method to achieve better coordination is designing single stage control of replenishment. Designing a supply chain in which single stage controls replenishment decisions for the entire supply chain can help diminish information distortion. So, if we have the system of deciding the replenishment decisions in a single stage for the entire supply chain, will help us to improve the supply chain system and reduce the information distortion. Next one is improving operational performance. Managers can help dampen information distortion by improving operational performance and designing appropriate product rationing schemes in case of shortages. That is, if there is any shortage in production, the managers has to apply rationing schemes for supply of products. Reducing replenishment lead time. By reducing the replenishment lead time, managers can decrease the uncertainty of demand during the lead time. Replenishment lead time means the time taken to deliver the product to the stores or point of sale. So, if the replenishment lead time is reduced, certainly the demand uncertainty can be easily handled or decreased. So, a reduction in lead time is beneficial for seasonal times because it allows for multiple orders to be placed with a significant increase in the accuracy of forecast. As the replenishment lead time is reduced, the orders can be handled very fast and the accuracy of forecast will also be increased. Rationing based on past sales and sharing information to limit gaming. To diminish information distortion, managers can design rationing schemes that discourage retailers from artificially inflating their orders in case of a shortage. One approach, referred to as turn and earn, is to allocate the available supply based on past retailer sales rather than current retailers' orders. So, sometimes due to the shortage of supply of products, the retailers may inflate their orders. That means they increase the orders to higher number when compared to the original requirement. So in this case, the firm or company can apply a method called turn and earn. That means you apply the strategy of allocating the available supply based on past retailer sales rather than accepting the current retailer orders as it is. Next one is designing pricing strategies to stabilize orders. Managers can reduce information distortion by devising pricing strategies that encourage retailers to order in smaller lots and reduce forward buying. We already discussed what you mean by forward buying. So we have to avoid the forward buying by the retailers. Moving from lot size based to volume based quantity discounts. As a result of lot size based discount, retailers increase their lot size to take full advantage of the discount. So if you have the strategy of giving discounts based on lot size, retailers will certainly increase the lot size to take the advantage of discount. Offering volume based quantity discounts eliminates the incentive to increase the size of the single lot because volume based discounts consider the total purchases during a specified period, say a year or month or quarter, rather than purchases in a single lot. That means instead of considering the order size in a single lot or single stretch, you consider the total volume ordered in a particular span of time. It may be in a year or in a month or in 4 months or in 5 months, something like that, so that you can avoid this forward buying problem. Next one is building strategic partnership and trust. Managers find it easier to use the levers discussed earlier to achieve coordination if trust and strategic partnership are built within the supply chain. So, we have discussed several methods to build coordination or to improve coordination in a supply chain system. But all these methods will work better if there is a trust and strategic partnership between the various stages in the supply chain. Collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment CPFR. The Voluntary Inter-Industry Commerce Standards VICS Association has defined CPFR, that is collaborative planning, forecasting and replenishment, as a business practice that combines the intelligence of multiple partners in the planning and fulfillment of customer demand. So VICS has defined a strategy CPFR where you practice which combines the intelligence of the partners involved in the supply chain management in planning and fulfillment of the customer demand. Sellers and buyers in a supply chain may collaborate along any or all of the following four supply chain activities. First one is strategy and planning. The partners determine the scope of the collaboration and assign roles, responsibilities, and clear checkpoints. You assign the roles of different stages in the supply chain, then the responsibilities and checkpoint mechanism to confirm whether we have achieved what we have aimed for at a particular point of time. In a joint business plan, they then identify significant events such as promotions, new product introductions, store openings, closings, and changes in inventory policy that affect demand and supply. So, the various stages in the supply chain management can collaboratively decide these factors for the better improvement in the supply chain management system. The next one is demand and supply management. A collaborative sales forecast projects the partner's best estimate of consumer demand at the point of sale. So, if forecasting is done collaboratively, then we can get a better estimate of consumer demand. This is then converted into a collaborative order plan that determine future orders and delivery requirements based on sales forecast, inventory positions, and replenishment lead times. The next activity is execution. As forecasts become firm, they are converted into actual orders. The fulfillment of these orders then involves production, shipping, receiving, and stocking of products. So, once the forecast is accurate, then based on the actual orders, the execution of various activities, production, shipping, receiving, and inventory of products will take place. The last activity is analysis. The key analysis tasks focus on identifying exceptions and evaluating metrics that are used to assess performance or identify trends. So, based on the data or past data, we can analyze and identify the exceptions, that is, abnormal conditions in any stage of the supply chain management system, and various metrics that are used to assess the performance or identifying the trends in the supply chain. Students, answer for these questions.